Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hey guys, should we start the interview?
Hi. Yes. Hi everyone.
Just a moment.
This meeting is being recorded.
Hey Rahul, just wait for a minute. After that, we'll start the interview. Cool. In the meantime, can you switch on your camera and share your screen?
Okay.
Yeah. Just give me a minute.
Hi.
All right. Hey Rahul, I'm Manish. I'll be taking your interview. So before we start, I'll give you a brief how the interview is going to proceed. Then we'll begin. Okay.
Hi Manish.
Hi. So first couple of minutes, it's going to be your introduction. So where you tell me what you have been doing in your current organization, what projects you were involved with, what was your role within those projects, just the normal stuff. That's it. After which we'll jump into some questions related to JavaScript to see what is your understanding of the language. Once we are done with those, theoretical questions, I'll give you a coding exercise. So that's going to be more focused towards your understanding of data structure and algorithms. Sounds good?
Yes, Manish.
Cool. So please tell me a bit about yourself.
Yes. Myself Rahul. I'm from Hyderabad. So I have completed my education, graduation in year 2015. After that, I have joined as a Ruby on Rails developer. Then I was also like working on frontend also, and currently I'm working in Byju's. So I'm a senior software engineer here. So in this current organization, I'm involved in creating new features like understanding gathering requirement from the stakeholders, and planning out the entire feature, and then implementing the features in according to the plan. And all the plans and all the things are created in Jira ticket. And once everything is done, we write the unit test cases for the implementation, and also like after writing the test cases, we move it to the QA for testing. So after this, we also like I'm also like involved in helping out my team members if they are facing any issues or troubles. So mostly in debugging in any issues in the production, or if they are stuck in any issues in the project implementation or project whatever is they like they are working on in with my colleagues. So I also involve in active discussion with the team members and in carving out the project implementation. So we understand what is going to happen, like means like what are the different scenarios and different edge cases with the team members, and write down all the steps and implement the project. So I was also like actually in discussions of couple of meetings where this planning goes on for the next sprint analysis. Hello, Manish, are you there?
Yes,
Hello?
I am here. Yeah.
So I'm also involved in a couple of discussions in planning out the next sprint. What are the like I also like try to give my analysis. What's the time taken for each task or project? Yeah. So
Okay.
that's my current role.
So you're more focused on the front end or on the back end?
So I'm more focused on backend side. So front end also I have worked on like React. Like it was a small components. I have worked on React.js, building small pages in React.js. So in the current company, or also like previous company, but more on backend side I am in. So I have also like good knowledge on JavaScript also. I have worked with Node.js projects also in some of the companies in my previous companies. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So if I ask you to rate yourself out of 10 in JavaScript, what rating would you give yourself?
Yeah, I can give myself around 7.5.
7.5. What about React?
React, it's less because I have worked very bit less on it, but yeah, I can give something around 6 to 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about Node.js?
Node.js also like I have studied on my own, and I have worked in a small project like for 6 months or like 1 year. It was in bits and pieces like that, 1 to 2 years. So I can rate myself very less, 6. So I'm good. I have worked more on ROR, but yeah, I'm also interested in other projects. So I'm learning more on the other Node.js or Golang. So I have like started studying on them. So
Okay, no issues. Let's start with JavaScript.
yeah.
Okay. Can you explain event loop?
Yes. So basically, what happens in JavaScript is anytime a event or any event or something is triggered, it's not immediately executed in the JavaScript. So what happens is like it goes into some queuing queue, and in the queue it waits for the some processing or worker to start running to fetch it and start executing. That's nothing but the event loop. Like events, it's like means like the whatever the events are coming, it's fetched by some worker, and once the worker starts executing it, it's completes the execution. Once it's completed, then it's again starts searching for the new job or event present in the queue, and it again completes like that. So it's not like it's like any events are like generated, are not immediately executed, and it is like stored and executed once and this whole process starts once the whole script has been executed. So events are generated from the script, and once the script is completed, then the events from the event loops from the queue will be executed by the event loop. So that's what I understand from the event loop.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Give me a moment. I'll share the piece of code with you. And you have to tell me what would be the expected output. Okay.
Okay.
Please check the chat.
Okay. Okay. So in this, what happens is like I believe all will be print 500 times. So in this event is getting triggered, a set timeout, which is to run after 100 seconds, and the I variable is incremented up to 5. So once the 5 is run 5, I is run up to 5, I equal to 5. Then what happens is like that the event loop will start triggering and it will execute, and it will start print from the closure values. Means whatever this is there, it's a closure like thing.
Okay.
The values will be available to this function. So this I will be fry for 100 times.
Actually,
For
I
that,
will be 4 times.
I will be printing 500 times. Means I will be printing 5. So it will be printing 100. Sorry, not 100. Sorry, after 100 milliseconds, it will be printing 5 times.
Okay. What if I change the timeout to 0 milliseconds?
Still it should be the same thing. So it doesn't matter, because once the script is execution completed, then only the event loop will start working. So it should be the same.
Let's say I want the print of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but that to happen after 100 milliseconds. How can that be achieved?
So printing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the event loop. So one thing we can do is like
Can you please
we can pass a function value instead of passing as a directly variable. We can call a function with value. Means like whatever you're passing to set timeout, we can pass a value as a function. Means like within this function. So whenever you're passing like that, I think it might work, but I have never tried it. I'm not sure about it.
Cool. All right, no issues. So we talked about event loop, we talked about closures. So what is your understanding of inheritance in JavaScript?
So inheritance in JavaScript is done by prototype. So object prototyping in JavaScript. So once if there are nothing found in JavaScript, sorry, one minute. Sorry. Yeah. So inheritance in JavaScript is mainly nothing but a prototype, like object prototype. So properties of object are inherited by another object. That's how in JavaScript it works. That's object prototyping. So what happens is internally when you are trying to search in existing object, first searches for the object you have created. If it's not found, it will try to find in the prototype object of object's prototype, that is another object itself. And if it's found there, then it will print all the function or the value. That's how I believe the prototype works, inheritance works in JavaScript. So this is like you can create a prototype in many ways.
What are the different types you can create an object?
So there are like first object initialization. You can have like new object. Then there is also like a parenthesis, flower parenthesis. Then also you have like a function constructor. You can create a function constructor and call the object from the constructor. Then that's those things I remember. I think there is another one I don't remember exactly. That should be the things.
Yeah. So you talked something about constructor. What is a constructor actually?
Okay, a function constructor is nothing but like you return nothing but the this of the what you do is like you create a function, and within the function you create the instance variables or something using the this keyword of that thing, and return the this as the object itself. So when you call the new space function, it will return the object of the function as the function constructor. How it works, I believe. That's the thing.
Okay. Okay. What is the use of the new keyword?
So it's for initializing the object from the function constructor. It's similar to how we do in many other languages, right? We initialize the object and assign it to some variables. New keyword is used to initialize the function constructor object. So this will be clear. I'm not exactly sure, but I think this is for initializing the object for the function constructor.
Okay. So let's say when you create a class, okay,
Yeah.
and when you extend it from something else, write the constructor, okay.
Yeah.
And within the constructor, you make a call to the super. So what happens if I don't make the call to the super?
So if it will call the default constructor, I believe, in many languages. So there's a default constructor inbuilt within the class. So it will always call the default constructor.
Is there any default constructor in JavaScript?
In JavaScript, I believe like it's a default object prototype is added, I believe. Not sure exactly the value what it's called. Object prototype is there. That's for sure. That is there for every object. Any object has some default object prototype. Not sure about the super keyword, how it's called.
Okay, no issues. What is a promise?
So promise is something like it's something like we are creating an object which we don't have any idea of. So we are waiting for something like it might be something we need to wait for it. We don't want the script to stop at this position. So we kind of have something like a object created, and after the object is resolved, we either it can be either resolved to success or error. So we kind of have a promise created, and once it's resolved, we pass a success callback. Once it's success succeeded, then we call the success callback. And once it's error is there, then error callback is called. That is something like promise is an object. It returns. It can be used for the further running of the program, where the user can see if there is something. If it failed, he can stop the script running, or if it succeeded, he can continue with other things. That's how the promise works. So it's something like you don't wait for that thing to complete and continue your script running. You don't want your script to be stopped at one point, waiting for that result. That is what a promise. It's an object, basically.
Okay.
And you pass two callbacks.
Okay, what are those callbacks? What is the use of those callbacks?
So sometimes so success callback is something which so you want to do something. Let's say after succeeded, and you want to show that your purchase is complete. Then pop-up you want to show. Then they can call the thing into success callback, or you return some response. You return an object. In the object dot then you check for the then if it's something like it succeeded, you can just call in that function. So that is a success callback. Something like we are having something like telling the system to do something once everything is success in the promise object. So promise is nothing but it's running some script internally, like we are passing some function and it's returning some object as a promise. And that value on succeeded, we kind of have, we can do some changes to the system based on the success value. That's successful callback value. That's what I believe is. And something callback is nothing but like on doing something, we do some changes to the environment or something like that. Once the function has been completed, we do the next step like that.
Cool. What is a iterator?
So iterator is I think it's mostly not used iterator in JavaScript, but what I understand from iterator is like it's like go step by step, like it yields something, like you pass some callback to the function. Okay, sorry, iterators, you mean to say map, fetch, find, all these things, right? These are the iterators we're talking about.
I
Map.
mean, map and fetch, filter, those are some application of the iterator concept.
Yeah. So these are like iterators are something which takes the callback as a function, and they iterate over the elements. It can be an array or something like that, or some object key value based, something like that. So object not map or array only. We iterate over each element and do some processing over these functions, or it can be like it can be also. I'm not sure in JavaScript, but I think it can be also used for the normal functions also, where you iterate over once. You can generate a sequence of numbers, something like the generators. I think it's opposite of iterator. Not sure exactly, but it's something like we iterate over each element and process the each element and pass to the function callback and do some processing using the iterators. Yeah.
All right. So, okay, different type of for loops in JavaScript. Let's talk about that.
Sorry, come again.
Different type of for loops.
Different type of for loops.
Yep.
Okay.
What's the difference between for off and for in?
For often and for then.
For in.
For in, I'm not sure about it. Different traders using for loops. Not much.
Okay.
I'm not
All
working
right.
on those things.
How much have you worked with Redux, React? Like you said, you have just basic knowledge of it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So I have worked with Redux also a little bit. So means I'm not that I don't know the basic functionality how it works. So and only the thing that implementation might be a bit difficult because I don't remember exactly. Means I can write a code. I can take some time and I can write a code for implementation. Yeah. So what I understand with the functionality with React and Redux is like we generally deal everything in terms of actions in Redux. So every action will be initialized as a constant, and whenever an action is done from the user side, we trigger a reducer action, reducer with the action as a parameter to the reducer, and that on triggering we either change update to the state. It can be a store. It's like we have a common store. We update to the store, and after updating to the store updated value will be coming to the view part, and the view part will again re-render the thing, getting the store value on update. So everything is, this is what basic I understand. But if it's more complex, like complex means we can use the Redux using other middlewares like Dunk for asynchronous calls and all that stuff.
Let's move on. Let's come to Node.js. All right.
Sorry.
Let's come to Node.js. Can you tell me how Node.js works?
Yes. So Node.js is basically like we have a sorry 1 minute. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So Node.js it's an application like so basically in Node.js we have a we have a library like Express.js running in the Node.js, like to run a server.
Tell me how Node.js works under the hood. Express.js is a framework.
Yeah, it's a
You
framework.
build without using Express also.
Yeah, so in Node.js, what we do is like we listen. We have something like 10 means we match for each URL, I believe. We match each URL coming making a request. If that URL is a request is coming to that URL, then we hit the success function, and in the then callback we do something like we take the request response, and after getting the request response, we do some processing, like either we based on the request parameters we can either connect it to the I mean to say we connect it to the framework SQL server or anything else, or get the data, and after that we send the response. Send or send something like that using the response function to that back to the as a response back to the server, I believe. So Node.js runs as a like it understands what are the different requests coming. It matches the URL coming, and it either gets a request or response
Okay.
and sends a response back to the your browser.
What is the V8 engine?
Sorry.
V8 engine.
Yeah, it's a VH engine is a VH engine is something like similar to how Google engines are. Google it's a Google engine, I believe. VH engine. It's internally runs the whole thing for the node, I believe.
Okay.
I mean, it runs back completely in the back for the server. It's like it's a engine running the whole process. Like the event loops, all the event triggers, all those things.
All right. Okay. How could you like how could you run a Node.js app into cluster mode? And what is a cluster mode? Hello.
Yeah, hello. Sorry, I lost power in my area.
It's all right, no issues. Can you please share your screen?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, I need to change my system preferences. I'm just quitting and reopening because I need to change the system preferences. That's fine, right?
Okay, yeah, sure. Please join in.
Hello.
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry, I have to. For sharing my screen, I have to enable the.
It's all right, no issues.
My screen is visible, right?
Yep, it is visible now. Okay. So yeah, the question was, how can you run a Node.js app in cluster mode? What is a cluster mode?
Okay, running a Node.js app. I'm not exactly sure because I've done it long back ago.
ठीक है, ठीक है.
I need to
All
check.
right. Let's move on to algorithms and data structure.
Yeah.
We'll start with the basic questions. We'll
Yeah.
see where it takes us.
Okay.
Okay. So when you are given a problem to solve, all right, what is your thought process regarding it? Like what are the trade-offs that you will have to take? Because one question might
Okay.
have multiple solutions. So what are the trade-offs that you would have?
Okay. Okay. So once given a problem, first I will go to the question like what are the first I will take the limits, like what are the uh, I will go to the question, what are the parameters, input parameters we are taking in, what should be the output value of that problem, and after that what are the input values limits, like what are the means how big is it or how small is it, like what are the you can say the range of the input values I'll consider, so that it will not overflow or something like that. And also I will consider the space complexity and the time complexity of the question. So if, like, let's say for the given problem, if I will first consider mainly the time complexity to make sure that the problem runs with less amount of time. Means like the time is
Camera as
considered number of steps, like it's executing.
well. Sorry
Yeah.
to interrupt. Please switch on your camera as well.
Okay, sorry.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Please continue.
Yeah, sure. So first I will consider the inputs and outputs, as I said before. Then I'll consider the limits, like biggest value and the smallest value. What's the range of the inputs which I can have, and what will be the output range which can be possible if there is present in the question also. Then I will consider the time complexity and the space complexity. So I will make sure that I will at most try first to have less time complexity, so my system can run with less number of steps executing, like less number of lines executing. So time complexity will be less, and then I will consider the space used is not too much for the given problem. And then after that, I will try to see if I can break up the problem into small pieces. If it's like I need to get some values from different two things like that, and see if we can break the problem, or if we can use the greedy approach, or something like we can see if we can take the most minimum value, like different approaches we can have for different problems. So that is like I will see if any one of them fits for this problem.
Okay. Like you said,
Yeah.
different problems might have different solutions. Perfectly right. So what kind of problems are best done with greedy approach?
Okay. So for greedy approach, these problems are most done, like let's say I want to like fill things up. So whatever, let's say I have some values. Means like greedy approach is like which is the biggest value, I'm taking that as my best fit. Then next biggest value. or next biggest values, like that. So that I will this greedy approach is mostly fit for like time intensive activities. So let's say I have too many activities running in parallel. I want to see take the activity which is more activities to be done in this time frame. So I can start doing it with the approach by like taking the one which is completing very fast, then completing with the next fastest one, like that. So that I will be have at the end, like I'm getting the at the end I'll be getting the best possible solution to be filled in my like more number of tasks I can get completed using greedy approach. So like
Okay,
that.
what kind of problems best done with dynamic programming?
Yeah, so dynamic programming is like so you have some problems. Let's say you have like Fibonacci series. Let's say Fibonacci itself, and I want to find out the Fibonacci of the nth term. So in the Fibonacci, what happens is like you need to find out the Fibonacci of n-1 and n-2. So again, this n-1 and n-2, again you need to break it up and find out the Fibonacci of n-3 and n-2, and then for n-2 you n-3 and n-4. So like that, you go on breaking up all these things, and finally go at the f of 1 and f of 2, which are like f of 1 and 1, 1. So here you are repeating many of the steps. So you can reduce these steps by just keeping them in memory and avoid breaking them again and again. So dynamic programming helps us like keeping them in memory and reducing the number of steps computed for each and every division, something like on the 3, something like.
Yeah. All right, sounds good. Let's start into problem solving. Okay, what is sorting?
So sorting is nothing but like you are planning, you have a series of numbers jumbled up, you want to have it in an order, increasing or decreasing. So you do sorting, it can be on an array, you do mostly, and sort the whole things in the array. So it's an array of individual elements, same element types, and you sort them based on either some conditions. Either it can be increasing, decreasing, or it's like you want it some other conditions. Yeah.
Okay, different type of sortings.
So there are many types of sorting. So some of them are brute force sortings, like bubble sort, which is a bubble sort, selection sort. Then we have some better types of sorting, like merge sort, quick sort, and we also have like yeah.
Complexity of bubble sort and discussion sort.
Sorry.
What is the time complexity of bubble sort?
Yeah, it's O of n square.
Okay, for the average case.
For the average case also, you mean this for bubble sort?
Yeah, for bubble sort.
Average case. So best, I think for best case, I'm not sure average case. So I'm saying the worst case O of n square bubble sort, and average case is.
It really does not matter. It's same. It's O of n square.
Yeah, it's same. Yeah.
Okay. What about quick sort?
Yeah, quick sort is O of n log n, and worst case is like O of n square, I think, if it's completely reversed. That's something like that.
Sort work?
Yeah, sorry.
How does quick sort work?
So quick sort, we take a pivot, either it can be a middle or somewhere else at the end, and we start dividing the elements. We take at the end, I believe.
All right, I think so. Let's start. Let's just code up quick sort.
Okay. So you want me? Can I open it?
Yeah, you can use any editor, online compiler, whatever you are comfortable with.
Okay.
So I could give you a question. I could give you a different kind of question, but let's see what we do with sorting.
Okay, sure. So basically, I'll write down the steps, what I'm going to do, then I will implement it. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So the point of this exercise is to see whether you can translate your thought process into code.
Okay, sure. So I will take the input as an array. Input will be my array, jumbled up. Array of numbers. Then what I do is like I will take the pivot as the last element. Okay, I'll pass this the function and take the pivot as the last element. So I will just create a quicksort function first. Quicksort another function, pass it to the function quicksort. The quicksort, I will take last element as my pivot. So after taking my pivot, I will take the first element and see if it is my greater than the. I'll start iterating from the my start iterating from 0 to n minus 1. Okay. Then this quicksort will be having parameters input array, and also like I'll add more. Start iterating from 0 to n minus 1. And in 0 to n minus 1, I will search which is the biggest. If 0, I will check with each value iteration. In each iteration, check if greater, if bigger or smaller. If smaller, I will let it be. If it is bigger, I will add this value to the law. Means I will run a. I will keep an index, and if it's bigger, I will keep it in the index plus 1. Replace it with index plus 1. Replace it with the index and then increment the index. So if smaller, I will let it be, and I will increment the index here also. After that, once this is done, I will replace the pivot value with index position. Then after that, I will pass 0 to index minus 1. Index plus 1 to quicksort. Okay, I will stop once my element size is 1, then 0, less than 1. Stop the iteration if element size, if array size less than 1. Yeah. This will be my implementation. Okay. Hello.
Yes.
I'm writing the function.
Yeah, sure. You can just continue. Let me know when you are done. Then after which we'll go through the code. If you need any hints in between, just you can let me know. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, it's smaller. It will be sorry. Yeah. Hello. Hello. Manish. Hello, Manish. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am, I am here.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
It's running. Fine.
All right. So where are you calling the function?
Yeah, yeah. I'm calling in the main this function.
Mm-hmm.
So I have
So
passed
the
an
quick
array.
so
Yeah,
quick sort function is the array. The
yeah.
second argument is the pivot, and the third is
So the no, I'm just passing start and the end of the.
okay. Show me this quick sort function. All right.
Yeah,
First argument is a array. Second is integer. Third is an integer. What is s supposed to mean?
S is the start and the end.
Okay. All
So a
right.
pivot is always the last element. So I'm taking the E as the last pivot. Nothing much.
Okay, and what does swap do? Swap basically swaps the two things,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. If it is only two elements, I'm just swapping it and returning it. I don't
Okay.
want nothing to run. And I'm running it up to S2 less than pivot. If it is less than value, I'm swapping it to the, I'm moving all the small elements to the left of my index.
Mm-hmm.
And so like that, what's happening is like now if I'm moving all my small elements to the left and incrementing the index. So this way what happens is like now at the end when the iteration is completed, I'm swapping my end element with the index. And then again, I'm passing the quicksort for the index -1 and index +1, like that.
Got you.
And so this is nothing but I'm passing reference. So no extra usage of it.
So on line 41, the place where you are calling the function, can you duplicate some of the elements?
Yes, sure. Yeah, duplicated.
All right, sounds great. I think you've arrived at a good solution. Also, the interview time is getting over. So I think I'm good. I'll share my feedback with Lavanya and Shobham. They'll get back to you, okay?
Okay, sure. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Nice talking to you, Rahul. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Manish. Same here. Sorry for the trouble. My power is gone.
No issues. How it does not even really matter for the interview. So
No, sure.
don't worry about it. All right. Bye.